What's up everyone, my name is Ogden. I'm a graphic designer from Minnesota, but currently living in the Colorado Springs, Colorado area of the United States. And today, I'm gonna give you a tutorial on how to use the Shape Builder tool in Adobe Illustrator. Now this is one of my favorite and most essential tools that I use for professional graphic design work. And I think that if you're a designer, you should absolutely know how to use the Shape Builder tool. So let's hop into Illustrator and we'll talk about it. Alright, so I went ahead and hopped into a new Illustrator document. I just put in random settings. I think it looks like we're at 1080 by 1080 pixels. And what I've went ahead and done is set up a little demo space here of simply two squares. They're a little transparent and they're slightly overlapping so we can illustrate this tool. So the Shape Builder tool is located right on the left in your toolbar. It looks like this. Now I always use the keyboard shortcut Shift+M. You're welcome to click it, but I personally feel that Shift-M is the best way to do it. Let's get back into our direct selection tool. It's up here. I like to press V to get into that. And to start the demo of this tool, I want to first select these two objects, because what does the Shape Builder tool do? Well, it allows you to build shapes as the name suggests. So let's say, for example, I got these two shapes here overlapping. So what can this tool do to these shapes? First of all, I want to talk about the plus mode of the Shape Builder tool. So when you first click on it, you'll see next to your mouse cursor, there's a little plus sign. So that means additive, addition. This will build upon shapes, more or less. For example, I got these shapes here, and as you can see, when you select both the shapes, you can see the outline of every single shape, all the anchor points, and you can also see the outlines when the shapes cross over each other. These two shapes are single entities, but when they cross over, they make this mini square here, just based on where their cross sections are. So with the Shape Builder tool, when you activate it on the plus mode, you can click on any of these separate segments and create shapes out of them. For example, if I click right here and right here, I have just created separate shapes. They are no longer the square. What they have done is they have said, okay, this section here where all of these edges combine to create a new shape, when I click it, this is no longer a square, this is a brand new complete shape. Additionally, I just went and undid some of that. If I select them and I click and drag, you'll see this line appears, and you also see this red line here next to these. So this is saying if I drag my cursor over the red line, we've now included a new section into the shape. So now the red outline is my new shape. It's currently this square, but if I drag this over again, we've now selected the whole thing, and when I let go, we've created one singular shape from all of those edges. No longer two squares, one singular shape. So hopefully you're kind of following what this can do. It can allow you to use shapes to combine, to add, to create new shapes. But it also has a second mode, and that's the subtractive mode. So let's enter the Shape Builder tool again. Now, if I press Option on my keyboard, or Alt if you're using Windows, you'll see that the cursor changes from a plus to a minus. So here I'm tapping it back and forth. Now this does the exact opposite. So now if I click this section, instead of creating a new shape, it deletes that whole shape from the rest of the selection. Undoing that to show I can delete the center, I can delete this one, or if I hold it and click and drag, I can do the same thing as creating a whole shape. I could delete the whole shape, or I could delete two sections of the shape and leave just this one behind. So I think you're getting the picture now. The Shape Builder is a super awesome tool. Now I want to take it a step further. So right here, I've got the logo to the University of Minnesota. This is the college that I got my graphic design degree from. And I want to recreate this logo with you guys using just the Shape Builder tool as a simple example. So I'm going to lock it on this layer here, and I'm going to create a new layer just so we can't move it around. Now, obviously you could do something like just grab the pen tool and slowly trace your way around the entire shape, but it's never going to be as accurate as the Shape Builder tool will be, which you'll see in a second, because there's not that human error of manually drawing the lines out. So as you can see with the pen tool, there's my M. It's a little off, a little janky. Obviously I did it fast, but with the Shape Builder tool, we can do this a lot easier and a lot more precisely. I'm going to start by pressing M and opening my rectangle tool, and I'm going to go down to this rectangle and I'm going to just drag it out here. And if you look at this entire logo, you can tell it's actually built up of just a bunch of different rectangles. So I'm going to hold my Option or Alt key and then hold the Shift key, and I can duplicate it and then drag it in a straight line, and we're going to guide it over here. And now for the stems of the letter, we're going to duplicate another one, and I'm simply just going to rotate it until it pretty much looks aligned. I'm pressing Shift and X here just to swap between the stroke and fill, just so I can kind of see that outline a little better. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just drag out the ends like this. I'm also gonna hold Option because that allows me to drag both ends out, but you can drag them individually. Here is our current logo. A lot of things are overlapping, but that's where the shape builder tool really shines. So I can select all of this here, and as you can see, these lines are all the different intersections of all these shapes. So I'm gonna press Shift M, enter the shape builder tool. First, I'm going to hold Option to bring up the minus. I'm gonna cancel out anything that I don't need, just like that. Get the ones up here and minus these, and I'm just gonna drag across. As you can see, the logo looks done, but it's still a bunch of random broken up, disconnected shapes. So I'm gonna select it all, Shift M again, and in the plus mode, I'm simply going to drag my mouse over all these shapes. And you can see where it's starting to highlight the shapes is the entire area that creates your singular new shape. So I'm gonna simply drag it all the way across, and boom, we have the logo. So that was a quick introduction to the shape builder tool, and I just want to emphasize one more time that this tool is so powerful, especially for doing professional work, because if you are able to design all your pro work that you have in sketches using just a bunch of shapes and straight lines like that, you're gonna have super accurate, smooth, professional looking logos. There's not going to be any bumps or any adjustments you have to do. And now obviously this isn't for all design work, but it helps for a huge majority of it. And it helps make your work look professional. It helps your process go quicker, and it helps you look like a legitimate designer. So I hope you learned something from the video, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.